What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to MD Fish Tanks. Guess what? We've got great news. The new Bolivian rams, 2 of them here, have paired up and there's eggs. Now, they're really hard to spot because they just look like grains of sand, but there's loads of perfectly round balls, well, eggs, on the leaf right in this little section here. Look, they're guarding this whole area. Now, I'm guessing that the likelihood of any sort of babies being born or even surviving is extremely low just with the pure amount of fish we've got in this tank. But fingers crossed. And even if it doesn't happen, it's still awesome knowing that you've created a really good environment that those fish feel comfortable to breed in. Look, this one here, this is the female. She's like trying to attack me through the glass because I'm too close, obviously. If any other fish get closer to the certain area, oh no, they're allowing the Otto sinkless. They like the Otto. These fish obviously think I'm going to be feeding. Mum's going backwards and forwards. Dad is on top of the leaf. There you go, look, there you go, look, too close, and she's seeing them off. This is awesome, this is so cool. And for some reason, the light's just gone off. I've got one of those manual timers on this one. It goes off on and off whenever it wants. Go back on, hang on. There we go. Right guys, the neon Tetra jungle tank is off to a flyer, as we know. It's been 6 days set up now. The video got over 100,000 views in the first day and a half, so thank you guys so much for that. It really does mean a lot when you put so much effort in and something just takes off like that. It's like, oh, you really sort of appreciate it. But, you know, the setup's just the start. I think this tank is going to be like a really good highlight of both studios once it grows in, partly because of the ease of doing it, in my opinion, and also the fact that it's not an expensive setup. I've got a cheap light, a cheap filter. All right, the aquarium isn't that cheap, but you can get cheaper options. It's a glass box at the end of the day. It doesn't need to be crazy money, does it? But yeah, anyway, we've got some of these plant die-offs. We need to get it sorted sooner rather than later. So I have just done some water testing and the nitrates are still sitting at 20 ppm, which is what we want. We don't want it to go too much higher, but we don't want it down at 0 either. Really not good for the tank if that happens. You just notice the plants start going really like yellowy, and yeah, they just don't look healthy. So all of that's all good. It's just normal sort of die-off that you get, specifically this one down here. I mean, this is the only one that's showing it. Now, it could be the fact that half the plant got its root system chewed up when I put it in or something like that. I don't know, but it is odd because that is the only one. All the rest of the tufts of glossostigma are doing absolutely great, and in fact, some of them are starting to creep. Look, like, see the roots coming down on that one? That's where it's trying to grow horizontally, and it's trying to anchor to something. And yet we've got it on a few more others as well dotted about the place. But to be honest, that's okay. If that's the only one that's doing that, then all good with me. Anyway, that's all good. Let's get these amanos in so they can go to town on those dying bits of matter. Some of the crypt leaves as well are dying back. I'll just remove those by hand because they're easy. I can just snip those. Obviously, that glossostigma is so small, I can't do that. So I'll just rely on the little critters and the snails and stuff to eat that waste material. And there we go, guys. So although I had to cut back quite a few leaves there, it actually doesn't matter at all because those leaves were always going to die off. There's nothing we've done wrong. They're just trying to convert. And in fact, we've got brand new growth growing from all those crypts already. Let me show you. So down here, look, you can see all those bright, vibrant greens are brand new leaves, and they're different to the top ones. The top ones are very sort of rounded, and these ones are kind of crinkly, as you'd expect from crypts. In fact, there's a better example around the other side. So if you look at those leaves there in comparison to the top ones, completely different. That's brand new growth already, and that's quite a good amount as well. So they're obviously thriving, they're going to do really well. We might just get a bit more die off, to be honest, before all the new ones start coming out, but that's okay. I don't mind that. As long as you know that it's going to change for the better, it doesn't matter at all. And again, I'm not sure what's going on with this glossostigma in the middle here. It's looking really rough. It's like almost like the back end of it's rotting, and that one is, but this one's fine. This one's fine, this one's fine. All the other ones are completely fine. It's just that, which is weird. I'm just going to leave it, let it do its thing, see what happens. To be honest, it's a nice sort of protein and food for the Amano shrimp because it's a new setup. So they're already going around, I can see, trying to get some diatoms off of, you know, the top rocks and stuff, because there'll definitely be diatoms starting at the moment. Even if we can't see them with our eyes, it will be happening for sure. It's just at the right sort of time for it to begin. But overall though, really good start, and I'm really happy with how it's progressing. So I'm about to do a nice big water change on a Discus aquarium. The nitrates are starting to creep above 20. I like to keep them around that area, so as soon as I see them creeping up, I just do a quick water change. Anyway, last time I did this, I remembered saying to you guys that I'd like to put some more red plants in. Now there's a nice little pocket that's going to look great in. I've got some Ludwigia palustrius super red. Oh, and I think I've got some Tetra as well. Yeah, let's just get it all in there. Let's just turn it into a rainbow. So this is the area I'm talking about. See that gap around there at the back? That's when I put the new red plants into. Now remember the Nymphoides Hygrophila Taiwan, that one there? It's getting big. Look at how good it is. Oh, so vibrant. It'll just keep going. It'll just keep doing that, like massive. It's going to be so cool. But yeah, so I'm just going to drop a load of this water, probably going to do about 30% water change, wipe the sides down, and then get those new plants in. They're actually being stored over here in this little tank, believe it or not. There we go. Look at how red they are. I mean, it's got a twin star light on it, so that's why it's just a rough. I just chucked stuff in there, but yeah. I mean, it's great use of a twin star, but I don't like going all high end on my display tanks because, yeah, whatever. But we got some nice plants we can use anyway. Right, I brought the water level down, it just makes things much easier. I gave the glass a wipe as well in the front, so you want to remove all that organic matter from the water column. But I've got the Ludwigia. This is obviously the palustrius super red. Such a nice plant, and you know, I can actually get it to grow quite red in low-tech setups. Some people can't. I find that the redness of the plant is more down to the intensity of the light. So if your tank is really balanced, you can whack up the lighting and you can get nice red plants, even though it's not, you know, full of CO2 and things like that. Right, what I want to do is plant this in a nice big section in the middle there. I'm just going to use my hands to plant it because it's quite a sort of wedge of plants there, and just going to get them all equal and level. And then I just want to push it straight in with my thumb. Hopefully this works. I'm thinking right there would be really cool. There we go, nice and deep. Fingers right in, and there we go. This might sit a bit too high. I'll have to take a look and then just make a judgment. No, it might be quite good. Yeah, I think that's about good. Like it. I mean, obviously that's going to grow in no time at all, and any of the bits that grow out sort of taller than the rest, I'll just trim those back and replant those, and that way you keep a nice sort of shape going without having to hack the whole thing back in one go. Because one thing I don't like about sort of maintaining tanks and trimming tanks is I just don't like how they look after you hack them all back at the same time. It just looks artificial to me, so I prefer to do it in small stages, little bits here and there as you do your normal maintenance. Right, that is looking fantastic, isn't it? That's going to get punchier and punchier now, and to be honest, it's probably going to get a brighter red as well, because if you compare it to this super red over here, I have just cut some and replanted it, but you know, plants like that one, it is a lot brighter, so that will change over the coming weeks. But why don't we just keep going? Why don't I put some Rotala Tetra next to it? I haven't got any here at the moment. That's the orange juice variety, so it goes a sort of orangey, greeny colour. And then if we get some Tetra in that little gap as well, I think that could work really well. So I've got a few bits down in this planted tank here. This is like just a storage one. It's not really doing a lot, to be honest. It'll be taken down soon. And I've also got a load of Tetra in this tank. This did have my platy babies in. News coming at the weekend for a new setup for those guys. Pretty cool one. Here's a little snapshot. That's all you're getting. I wonder if you can pause that. I might have to blur it. I don't know. I can't remember what this plant is. I'll put it on the screen now. But look at how good it goes. Now that's in part due to the wonky light that I've got up there, which is the ONF Flat One Mini. I think that's what it's called. These can be trimmed and taken out. they're getting too big anyway. So those two plants are going to look great in the discus tank. Well guys, I cannot tell you how pleased I am with how this turned out. It just looks so good. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I had these plants available, but adding those reds dotted around has really sort of split up the green. It's actually made the greens even more sort of punchy, if you like. They're not merged into one. We've got all the different textures now, like that nymphoides. I cannot wait for that to get a little bit bigger, but as you can see, I've already got loads of new growth. It's so fantastic. This is turning into one of my best planted tanks yet. There are definitely better planted tanks than this all over the internet, of course there are, but the majority of them use these high-tech systems with expensive lighting and CO2 injection. Remember, I'm not using any CO2 injection. I'm relying on the fact that I can put high light and not get algae by having a massive plants, a good substrate system, a couple of decent filters on there just so I can, routinely clean those, and also careful monitoring. I'm making sure the nitrates don't go above the 40 mark. 20 to 40 is where I aim for, and everything just seems to be doing so well at this level. And the good thing is as well is that the fish seem to really enjoy it. Quite a lot of you have been commenting saying why are they always down in this corner here. This is their safe zone. You'll find a lot of discus have a safe area in the tank where they return back to when stuff's going on. So as you saw just a minute ago, me trying to shimmy them out of that area, they were like, no, this is where we feel comfortable. Thank you very much. They will revert back there in a moment, but they probably think they're going to get fed now, but they're not, because that's tomorrow. They've already been fed this morning. But look how cool they look when they're against, when they're against all that green in that background. It looks so good, doesn't it? Right guys, it is now getting late in the studio. All the lights are starting to turn off. Thank you so much for watching this one. I think that the discus tank has turned out great. So happy with the results. Moving forward though, we are going to be doing the tank behind me very shortly. That's going to be something really cool for Timmy. I'm going to go for like a real sort of woodlands project, nice and big rocks, maybe a flowing waterfall over the rocks, something like that should look really good. That's going to take a lot of planning and it's going to take a long time to do, so it's not going to be the sort of thing that like I just do over a few days. I might span it over a couple of weeks, but I'm still going to do it as one build video. I really like doing a whole build video in one go. I think that it just gives a finer sort of story, a beginning, middle and an end. With the big tank, sometimes it's best just to split it up into multiple episodes like I do, but sometimes it also isn't, depends on the build. Anyway, enough rambling on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this one. Click the sub buttons and the likes and all of that stuff. See you later, mate. Bye.